Good evening and welcome to tonight's Agenda Briefing Forum. This evening is not a decision-making forum, it is the briefing on the agenda for the Ordinary Council meeting which will be held next Tuesday the 25th of February 2025. I'd like to remind everyone in the chambers to ensure that comments are respectful to the Council and all meeting attendees, including city officers and those in our public gallery. Please note that our meeting is being live streamed. I'd like to begin by acknowledging the traditional custodians of the land on which we are meeting, the Whadjuk people of the Noongar Nation, and pay my respects to elders past, present and emerging. Item 3 is announcements, and there are nil this evening. Item 4 is attendance. Councillor Sutherland and Councillor Bull are on leave of absence, and the Deputy Mayor has provided an apology for tonight. All other councillors are present in the chamber. Item 5, disclosures of interest. Are there any items that councillors have an interest to disclose? Councillor Palmer.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Yes, just an impartial interest on 10.1.4, being the Oshcare Develop and Operate at Gibney Reserve Maylands. As Chair of the BCCA, I have an impartial interest in this item, as there's no financial interest, being a non-profit volunteer position. Thank you.
And you'll be staying in the room?
Yes.
Thank you. Anyone else? Councillor Johnson.
With 10.1.2, superannuation for elected members, do I need to make a declaration of interest on that?
I'll just go to the Manager of Governance to advise.
Through you, Madam Mayor, there is an exemption under the Local Government Act for the disclosure of interest relating to superannuation.
Terrific, thank you for that. I'll make a declaration on 10.3.2, Bayswater Bowling Recreational Club CSRFF application. I think I'm a member, I hope I am, otherwise I better pay up. So that's an impartiality interest, I'll stay in the room.
Thank you. Anyone else? Councillor Sosowski.
Thank you. I've just seen this one here. It's for 10.1.3, the Morley Station Precinct Structure Plan Amendment. My mother lives in her house within the 800-metre catchment for that Morley train station, and I believe the specific amendment doesn't specifically relate to that 800 metres, but my mother's house is so close to the border of that I thought I should declare an impartial interest, staying in the room.
Thank you. Okay, so we'll now move on to item 6, which is deputations. And this evening we have 2 in-person deputations, and I'll explain how the process works. So each person who is presenting a deputation will be invited to come forward and speak at the microphone for up to 5 minutes. As we get close to the 5 minutes, I will let you know so that you can conclude your deputation. Once you have finished, councillors may have some questions for you. So our first one is in relation to item 10.1.4. We have Serena Jane, who is requested to speak in opposition of the officer's recommendation.
Good evening, my name is Serena Jane and I am the CEO for Bayswater Childcare Association Incorporated. The role is an absolute privilege and one I only enjoy because I have access to a reliable OSH service for my own child. If I didn't, they would need to find somebody else. It's absolutely essential for us working parents. The selection of an out-of-school care provider for Maylands Peninsula Primary School is an important decision that will impact Maylands families, children and the community for years to come. With that in mind, BCCA recently responded to the city's expression of interest for the development and delivery of an OSH service at Maylands Peninsula. While we respect that the city's officer's recommendation to await the election outcome and details of future funding, my objective today is to persuade you, when the decision comes, that the most qualified organisation to develop and operate this vital service is an experienced community childcare association. You may already know that our association was originally established by this council in 1985 to address the community's need for childcare services. While our mission remains the same, we have evolved over the years, and today I want to reintroduce you to BCCA, highlighting our key qualities. I will share with you 3 fundamental strengths, our quality superpowers that set us apart and demonstrate why we are the ideal provider for the city and the school in delivering this vital community project. BCCA is a not-for-profit organisation that has been serving families in the city of Bayswater for nearly 40 years. We operate 8 childcare centres throughout the city of Bayswater. We are a significant employer with a workforce that flexes between 105 to 130 positions. We are the original providers of OSH to Maylands Peninsula Primary School, having opened in Richard Street at the request of the school's PNC in 2010. Being located on Richard Street requires our team to collect and escort children to and from the school. Richard Street is only licensed for 30 children and is currently at full capacity. We are obviously very aware this is insufficient to meet demand, which is why we support the development of a new centre located at Gibney Reserve. Because of this long association, our team are deeply embedded in the Maylands community. We have key educators who have worked at Maylands OSH for over 10 years. We've built familiarity and trust with the children and families we serve. This connectiveness means that BCCA is intrinsically motivated to provide quality childcare. 90% of our board and 40% of our staff are City of Bayswater residents. More than 20% of our staff have their own children attending a BCCA centre. It's not that unusual for us to employ several generations in the same family or have teenagers that have attended our service as children come back seeking work experience or employment, making our superpower the fact that childcare is very personal. Our second superpower is our commitment to affordability and financial transparency. Unlike private providers who may prioritise profit over service, BCCA is non-profit and a registered charity, meaning every decision we make is for the benefit of children and families rather than financial gain. We maintain affordable fees, with any increases carefully considered and improved by our board of parents. Every dollar we receive in surplus is reinvested into improving our services rather than being distributed to a private owner or shareholders. The third unique ability is our robust stability. It's unfortunately common in the childcare industry to see OSH providers abandon unprofitable services, leaving families without reliable care. Our network of 8 centres ensures operational stability, allowing us to navigate financial impacts, staffing shortages, or fluctuating enrolments more effectively than a standalone provider. The last of our strengths is flexibility. We can deliver different modes of childcare to customise a service to the community needs. For example, if the school decides it requires a larger service or a long daycare service alongside the OSH, we can easily provide that. We have a history. In 2016, in partnership with the city, the association developed a neighbourhood house and occasional care centre in Morley.
So you've just reached 5 minutes. If you could conclude.
Yep. This venture was successful, with the centre operating to deliver many valuable community programs. The commercial terms proposed in our EOI are based on the framework established during that project, as well as elements of our existing lease agreements with the city. However, we recognise that the city may have different commercial expectations for this initiative. We are open to discussions and invite both the city and the school to share their requirements so that we could collaboratively develop a mutually beneficial arrangement. In conclusion, if the city and school are genuinely looking for a provider that can be trusted long-term to maintain quality, affordable, stable, flexible service for the community, then you should be working with us. We are ready and eager to collaborate on a solution that best serves Maylands families now and into the future. Thank you.
Thank you for your deputation. I'll just ask if there are any questions from councillors. Councillor Latta.
Thank you. So, Bayswater Childcare also runs one of the other out-of-school cares in Maylands. Is that correct, on Richard Street?
We run Maylands out of school care on Richard Street.
Yeah. So if you opened this other centre on Gibney Reserve, would you continue to run the Richard Street?
No, we wouldn't.
Okay.
We would be willing to relocate. We've previously looked at relocating to a larger capacity venue.
Yeah.
We explored the music school, but we still needed a bus to transport the kids, and it wasn't financially viable to do that.
Yeah.
And we've also approached the school principal about space in the school, of which he said there wasn't any. We've tried to deal with the overflow in other ways. We recruited a taxi service. We were collecting children by taxi and taking them to Bayswater.
Yeah.
We've really tried to flex and respond to the demand, and we think that a location on the school site is really the only answer.
So how many places are there in the Maylands out of school?
30.
30. Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
That's right.
Councillor Eason?
Yeah, thank you for your deputation. Just wanted to understand, so reading through the report, obviously there's been a Labor state government election commitment. Reading through that, it talks around about the school principals working to deliver on-site after-school care. Could you see a partnership directly with the school as part of this? Would that be the preferred?
We have 2 other centres where we are in partnership with the school. So we're at Morley Primary and also Weld Square Primary. So we have a lease agreement with the school because the school is providing a space. So it might be slightly different, as Gibney Reserve is obviously council land. The agreement would probably be with council, but we have that commercial arrangement with the school and work very closely with them.
Yeah, okay, thanks.
The schools prefer, just to outsource the childcare because of the heavy requirements, regulatory requirements. So we hold the approved provider licence, and that sort of frees the school up to hand over at 3 o'clock, and they like that. Yeah.
Any other questions, councillors? No, thank you very much for your deputation.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay, so our next deputation is in relation to item 10.3.2 for Bayswater Bowling and Recreation Club, and we have Shane Kinnear has requested to speak in support of the officer's recommendation.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I hope everyone's had a chance to read the report. I've basically just going to summarise it. I'm Shane Kinnear. I'm the operations manager for the Bayswater Bowls Club. I've got Andy Sykes with me tonight. He's our president, who's been a long-term member of the club since we worked out tonight. Since 2008 he joined. Okay, so Bayswater Bowling and Recreation Club has grown from strength to strength over the last 10 years, mainly as a result of us diversifying into a multi-sporting precinct, I guess, with roller hockey, basketball and netball played or practiced at the club. We call ourselves the community hub. We've got over 1,600 members at the moment in our club, and that's growing every week. So we have a membership draw every week, and I'm in charge of that. So every week I see new members coming in all the time that we have to put into the barrel. So I'm right across the membership, and I know most weeks we're joining anywhere between 10 and 15 members every week, and that's still growing, so which is really good. The biggest challenge we've had at the moment at the club is growing our bowling numbers. And as you would know, there's a lot of clubs around where their bowling numbers have declined. We've had the opposite, where we've had a good influx of bowling members over the last couple of years, which has been a good knock-on effect from our social members in the club. The problem we've got at the moment now, though, is we've only got 2 greens. We've got a synthetic green, which we can play all year round on, and we've also got a grass green. The grass green we can only play on certain months of the year because during the winter months the lawn becomes dormant. The greenkeeper needs to actively fertilise that. He core drills it, he maintains it all of those winter months, and we can't play on it. So the other issue we have in summer when, or should I say in the finer months, so that's between October and April when we have all our pennant games, ideal time for all our social players to actually play bowls. The problem there is we've got 4 teams now playing on the weekend, pennant teams, and we have to spread both of those teams over our 2 available greens. Therefore, so what we've found in the last 1 to 2 years, we've been turning many of our social bowlers away from the club. So we get a lot of inquiries to come and play social bowls on a Saturday, and we've been turning those people away. So what we've done is we've recognised the need for expanding one of our greens, which is the grass green. We're also looking at resurfacing that to a synthetic green, which then allows all of our pennant teams to play on that particular green. It also allows that green to then become playable all year round. So therefore we would have 2 greens that we would be able to play all year round. It negates the need for having a greenkeeper as well as a few other things, which is all covered in that report. So social players are our source of our next year's pennant teams. So that's where we source our players from. We get people interested in playing bowls. They come down and have fun. You know, we talk to those people. We have organised events for them, and then we can actually expect some of those people to then take the next step and actually join our pennant teams. So that's where we're looking at getting what we call our bowling stock from. Without social players taking that next step, our bowler numbers will slowly decline. But with a new larger green, this will allow our club to run more organised bowling activities aimed at social bowlers with the intentions of getting them to make the next step and then increase our bowling numbers. The thing is, we can't do this on our own. The club's obviously all owned by the City of Bayswater. So what we do is we're supporting the officer's recommendations to approve the Community Sport and Recreation Facility Fund small grant application to be submitted. We also strongly consider, strongly hope that you people here, the councillors and that, strongly consider allocating some funds, which was the 135,000, just over, in next year's budget to contribute towards that application as well from the CSFRF fund. And the club's prepared to match that allocation. Thank you.
Thank you very much for your deputation. I'll just ask if there are any questions from councillors. Councillor Eveson.
Yeah, thanks for your deputation, Shane. So I just wanted to get some understanding, because I have seen a lot of changes down at Basie Bowls over the years, and you mentioned about diversifying. I just wanted to understand, do you know sort of how much money has been gone into the club over the last, say, 5 to 10 years?
We've obviously... Money is, I can't give a definite figure, but I know over the last 8 years we've been putting money into a sinking fund to cover the cost of replacing our existing surface, and we've managed to put 150,000 away for that. We've also been putting money away so we can actually cover the costs of this new green as well, because we've had this in our plan, our business plan, for the last 4 or 5 years. So we could see that something was coming. So we've actually put that away. So currently I think we had a half-yearly AGM, and currently in the bank we've got just over the 400,000 mark, including those in the sinking fund.
Thanks.
Thank you. Any other questions, councillors? I just have a question.
Yes.
You just mentioned business plan.
Yep.
Does the city have a copy of
They
your
do,
business
yes, and
plan?
I've been doing business plans for the city probably for the last 5 or 6 years that I've been working there.
Okay, thank
Yes.
you. And I just have one other question. You spoke about the sinking fund.
Yes.
And I read about it in the report, and I was really impressed I was really relieved to see that there is a sinking fund in there. But I just wanted to ask, it says for 8 years, you've managed to save 150 in your sinking fund.
Yes.
For Green A. Is it Green A?
That's correct, yep.
For Green A, which is the existing synthetic.
The current synthetic.
Yeah. So it says in the report the lifespan of a synthetic is 10 to 15 years. So if we were just to, I don't know how you're actually managing your sinking fund, but if that's 8 years at 150,000, I'm imagining 16 years is 300,000. Is that roughly like what your business plan is showing?
Yeah, we're putting around the 15,000, 15 to 20,000 away every year into their sinking fund at the moment.
Okay. And then obviously you'd be doing the same for Green B.
Green B is a grass green, so we've been...
if it was a synthetic one.
Yes, correct. So if
then
we
you
convert that to a synthetic, currently we're paying a greenkeeper around the $35,000 mark a year.
Yeah.
So we won't need him anymore, and there's very minimal maintenance on a synthetic. So that particular money there we should be able to put that into a sinking fund for that particular green as well.
Okay, and that 35 that you pay for the groundskeeper's wage, that wouldn't be necessary if you had synthetic. The 12-something thousand subsidy from the city doesn't go towards that, that's separate again?
That comes off that fee, yes. So out of that 35,000, the City of Bayswater, with the turf policy, gives us around that 12 to 13,000 a year.
So but what I'm trying to work out, if you weren't getting that subsidy anymore
Yes.
because you didn't have grass,
Yep.
like natural grass, would you still have 35 to put into the sinking fund, or would you only have
we'd have the
minus
35
12?
less the 12, yeah.
Okay, all right,
Yep.
gotcha.
Yep.
Yeah, and then is the sinking fund planned in your business plan for full renewal at the time of end of life?
It's actually the A Green renewal at the moment. Part of our business plan is not just renewal of the surface, because it's the bowling club's reasonably old. At a lot of the grounds and the boundaries, I guess the easiest thing to explain, it's got the old cement slabs and everything all around it, which is quite old style nowadays. So the sinking fund for A Green, we're looking at putting extra money in and continue putting that in so that we can actually landscape around the green, I guess would be the easiest way to explain that. Replace the banks with nice limestone blocks and everything, so we're not replacing the old cement slabs every now and then when they break, and beautifying all around the green as well. So yeah. Yeah, just to make it safer as well, because at the moment it is, like I said, it's quite old.
So when the synthetic turf comes to end of life,
Yes.
under your business plan, will there be enough in your sinking fund to replace it at that stage?
Yes, there should be.
Okay, that's what I wanted to ask. Thank you.
Thanks.
Any other questions, councillors? No, thank you very much for your
Thank you.
deputation. Okay, so councillors, we've received no written deputations. So I'll go on to item 7, which is questions on agenda report. I haven't received any questions in advance from councillors, so I'll just go around the room and firstly ask if there are questions on item 10.1.4, which is the subject of our first deputation, out of school hours care. Any questions on this item to the officers? No. There's no questions. Okay, the next item is 10.3.2, Bayswater Bowling Club CSR FF application. Any questions on this for officers? Councillor Sosowski. Councillor Sosowski.
Thank you. In the report, it mentions here that we have 4 bowling clubs in the city of Bayswater. I'm just interested to know, or actually I'd like to know, please, can the city please provide for me and councillors the funding that's come from municipal funds to each of the 4 bowling clubs over the last 5 years? And if you can, if you've got that information readily available, even 10 years, so we can get a gauge of what each bowling club has been receiving in municipal funds over a period of time.
I'll go to the CEO.
Yeah, through you, Madam Mayor, we can collate that information and have that ready for councillors hopefully by the end of the week, but certainly in preparation for the OCM for next week.
And just to follow up, if I may, through the chair to the CEO, is the city, do you understand what I'm asking for in my question, just to make sure that the correct answers or the correct information comes back to me?
So my understanding is the capital contributions towards upgrades at the clubs. Is that what you are chasing, councillor?
So capital contributions and any other contributions that have been made, or maybe you can separate that out for us so we can see what the funding is that has come from municipal funds, whether it be capital or whatever, to each of those 4 bowling clubs.
Through you, Madam Mayor, the capital should be fairly easy to get because we can go back through previous budgets. If there's any subsidies or operational ones, that may be difficult, but we can have a look and try and get the best information for you over a 10-year period for the 4 clubs.
Right, and best information is what I would hope. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other questions? Councillor
Yeah, just one
Eason.
for me. Thanks, Stephen. That's going to be helpful, that info, because I had that one down. But the other one probably for the CEO, or I'd say it's for the CEO. Just, is this 135 currently in our forward capital works plan? So would that be just bringing it forward, or is it, what's the situation with that funding proposed?
I'll go to the director to respond.
Through the chair, it's not allocated in the forward capital works program at this point in time. depending on the decision of council, it could be added to the program.
Thanks.
Any other questions, councillors? Okay, so are there any questions on any other items? Councillor Johnson, which item?
Thanks. Yeah, just a quick one on 10.1.1 to reschedule the June OCM.
Yep.
Just talk about is rescheduling it to because of the ALGA conference, is that correct? So is someone from council going?
It's planned that the CEO and myself, and I'm not aware if any other councillors have indicated that they wish to attend.
Oh, thank you. And just wondering, is that likely to be the meeting that we consider the budget? Sorry.
I'll go to the CEO to respond.
Through you, Madam Mayor, yes, that's correct.
Thank you.
Any other questions on this item, councillors? Any questions on any other items? Councillor Ladder?
Can I just ask a question on 10.3.1?
Bayswater Waves pool heating?
Yep.
Yep.
Firstly, I wonder if it's possible for somebody to explain to me what the backup heater does, whether it functions frequently or just if something breaks.
I'll go to the director to respond.
Through the chair, the backup heater is for situations where if there is a breakdown with the main heater, so that will fire up and keep the water maintained at the right temperature. It can also be used for when the main heater's down for maintenance works. So if there's anything that needs to be serviced or whatever, depending on how long that servicing is required, then the backup heater would kick in as well to keep the water heated through that period.
Thank you. And also one that I don't expect anybody can provide me with this information straight away, but there's lots of financial analysis, but I'm wondering if we could get some emissions comparison between the different options as well.
I'll go to the director.
Yeah, through the chair. I'm not sure how much information is available and whether the consultant has that information, but we'll talk to the consultant and see what we can find, and we'll provide whatever information we can get together in terms of emissions. We'll provide that before the council meeting.
Any other questions on this item, councillors? Any questions on any other item? Okay, if there's nothing else, I'll close the meeting at 7:27 p.m. Thank you.